Hey creators, I'm Cynthia Gugian-Fisher of Creative You. Welcome to Sharing Saturday. Each Saturday, I'll share a quick tip, project, or topic for discussion on the Polymer Clay Learning Club Facebook page. This week, I'm sharing all of my tips and tricks for getting good results with polyurethane on polymer clay. For this technique, you'll need a fully cured polymer clay piece, some water-based polyurethane, synthetic steel wool in double aught or 00 and triple aught or 000 strength, a soft cloth, and a synthetic paintbrush. I'll give links to the products I used in the description. Polymer clay is waterproof. It doesn't need any top coat, sealer, or varnish, but sometimes people use paints or powders that do require sealing. Recently, I made some wooden jewelry with polymer clay inlay. The wood is stained and it requires a sealer. I used a water-based polyurethane on the pieces. And here's the steps I took to get good results. Good finishing technique starts before you've even baked the clay. Here, I've placed my clay veneer on a sheet of paper. I'm going to cover it with another sheet of paper. And then I'm going to use a plastic furniture slide to burnish the veneer. I'm moving the furniture slide in a circular motion using light to medium pressure. This makes the veneer smooth and removes any fingerprints. If you haven't got a furniture slide, you could even use a piece of cardstock to burnish. After I've burnished the front of the veneer, I turn it over and burnish from the back. Now, this will remove any indentations in the clay. I take my time with burnishing. Burnishing well really cuts down on the need for sanding. Once I finished burnishing the clay veneer, I pushed it through the stained wooden shapes, and then I trimmed away the excess clay. Finally, I gave it one last burnish just to make sure I had removed all of the fingerprints or imperfections. After that, I baked the pieces at the manufacturer's recommended temperatures for 45 minutes. Once the pieces were baked, I glued on some wooden backs, and then I allowed the glue to dry thoroughly. Before applying polyurethane, I rub each piece with 00 or 00 synthetic steel wool. I use gentle pressure and a circular motion. I take my time to make sure I don't miss any areas on the piece. I repeat this process with 000 or 000 synthetic steel wool. Then I wipe each piece off with a damp cloth and allow them to dry. I always decant my polyurethane into a clean jar. The metal can it comes in will rust, and that rust can contaminate the polyurethane. The poly needs to be mixed before use. Always stir the poly. Use a figure-8 motion. Never shake it. Shaking causes air bubbles, and air bubbles will ruin your piece. Use a soft synthetic brush with water-based polyurethane. Wet the brush, and then gently squeeze out any excess water. Dip about half of the brush into the poly, then shake off the excess. Avoid pressing the brush against the side of the jar to remove any excess poly. That causes air bubbles. I apply slightly thicker layers of poly than most people. I find that the slightly thicker layers help me avoid brush strokes, but I'm very careful to not allow the poly to pool or drip over the edge. Work under good lighting so you can see any air bubbles or dust. If you do see bubbles or dust, gently brush them to the edge of your piece and then off the piece. Once you've finished your first coat, allow your pieces to dry thoroughly. I usually give mine between 4 and 8 hours. Once the first coat is completely dry, repeat the process of rubbing your pieces with the synthetic steel wool. Start with the double-aught steel wool. Then move on to the triple-aught synthetic steel wool. Then use a damp cloth to remove any dust. Then apply a second coat of polyurethane as before. Once again, make sure to work under good lighting so you can see any bubbles or dust and remove them before the polyurethane dries. And here's some final results. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. And don't forget to join us on the Polymer Clay Learning Club Facebook page. Until next time, keep creating.